Right. That makes it I think so special for the thing that you do is you've talked to over 800 veterans. They
Mm-hmm.
all like we always talk about like we just said, it's hard for veterans to talk about things. But you talked to 800 World War II veterans.
Yeah.
When did you decide to make that step? Like what was the cause?
So that's a long story again, but yeah, because I started to hear all those stories about my own family, and I heard about the D-Day anniversary.
Right.
Most of the time when I was coming to Normandy was in July or August,
Mm-hmm.
so there were really nothing about like any commemoration in the area where my family was coming from. And so I heard about the D-Day anniversary, and I was like, when we have a way to go there, we need to come in June, for June 6th anniversary. And when I was 18, my sister was like 20. She had a car, and that was the year where I was supposed to have my uh, how do you say that, high school degree.
Oh yeah. Just
What? Yeah,
graduation.
graduation. And so my sister, I mean, we took her car, and instead of working to get the degree on my exams, I just decided to go with my sister here on the Normandy coast. So we came from the French Alps, drove like 8 hours, came here because actually I wanted to meet the guys that were here in 1944
Mm-hmm.
because I read a lot of books. I heard my grandpa talking about it, but I was like, I would love to talk to an American veteran and just chat, but it's very difficult. I realized because there were so many people like me that came to Normandy to check their hands, take a pictures. So that was kind of frustrating, very frustrating because I wanted to talk more with them, but I could see that they didn't really have time.
Mm-hmm.
So when after my high school graduation, I went to college to study history.
Right.
After what, master degree in history, but tourism as well. Uh, it's a long story again, but anyway, 2013, that was my last year, of my master degree, and I was like, and if I would take a gap here, not to go somewhere and have fun and drinking beers and just like go around like a road trip, but actually doing something I that would be beneficial for me, but for people. And so I actually contacted a World War II veteran by the name of Cliff Goodall. He was with the 7th Naval Beach Battalion on D-Day. Someone gave me his contact and actually contacted him, and I sent him an email, and I asked him, Mr. Goodall, I heard that you were on Omaha Beach with the 7th Naval Beach Battalion. I am thinking to coming to the United States, and I was wondering if I could maybe visit you and conduct an interview with you. And he was like, yeah, of course, this is my address. When you come by, just give me a call. I'm like, what? Is that easy? Because in Normandy, impossible to have access to those guys. You're like rock stars.
Right.
And after what, other people gave me contact info, but I have to be honest, when I decided to go to the US, I probably had 15 World War II veterans interview lined up in probably like 20 states.
No way.
So that was not very like strategic,
Yeah.
from California to the East Coast. You've got maybe one guy in California, one guy in Virginia, one guy in Texas. I'm like, I didn't know at the time that there were hundreds and hundreds in every city. But anyway, that was fun because I went to the US. Thanks to, kind of GoFundMe, I raised a little bit of money,
Uh-huh.
but I was kind of living in a dream. I raised like 3,000 euros, and I was like, it's going to be fine for a year. And I was thinking to buy a vehicle with it where I could sleep.
A vehicle.
So fortunately, on Craigslist, I bought a camper that I actually bought for 1,900 euros.
I have a
And it
photo of
was,
that.
yeah,
Let
just
me
show the picture.
let me show you. I have some.
All right.
Okay. You can talk about it.
So it's that camper was from 1988 Chevrolet. Uh and actually I put more than 70,000 kilometers on it. It's like 46,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I drove all around the US, and it worked perfectly fine. I remember one of my friends from Illinois. I told him I need to go in Texas because they're World War II veteran reunion. And it was like, good luck to go to Texas from Illinois. But actually, we made it. And after what, we went to California. And after what, we went all the way to
Oh my
Florida,
gosh.
all the way to Maine, New Hampshire, and all the way back to Illinois. And I did that a couple times. And yeah, I've
How
recorded the veterans since they were signing my
how
camper
long did that
kind of
trip?
too.
How long was that trip?
The first trip was a year. And what was cool is that when I went to the airport, I show my visa, because it was a visa B2, which means it's a long stay,
Mm-hmm.
over 3 months in the United States, but not a work visa, just as vacation. And I went to the airport, and when I was in the US, I was like, so I met some people, there. They were waiting for me, meeting with like, with police badge and stuff. And like, sir, why do you want to go to the United States? I'm like, I would like to visit and record World War II veterans. Why do you want to stay over a year, like over 6 months or a year? I'm like, because there's so many in your country. I'm like, can you do it in 6 months? I'm like, if you just give me 6 months, I'm gonna miss half of them. And he said, okay, give me a minute. So he went in the other room, and that was a higher rank,
Uh-huh.
very, very nice, probably military background, and he actually stamped it for a year and he say thank you. I've got
Oh
goosebumps
my
just
god.
thinking about it.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you
Me
for
too,
what you're
man.
doing, and he
That's
gave me
so
a year
beautiful.
a year visa.
Holy
And
shit.
so we went all around, recorded a few guys, but it was difficult because I didn't have the contact, and I was just going around. And I put on my camper thanks to my friend that was a painter. Uh, Tim, if you listen to this podcast from Sycamore, Illinois, he helped me to actually paint the camper. And we put, do you know World War II veteran? And we put my phone number and my email address. And people were calling me. I
Oh.
was parking at Walmart parking lot every day because this is where I was sleeping. And people would stop by with like, hey, my neighbor is a World War II veteran. I don't know nothing about him, but I'm like, oh wow. Because I'm taking a weird accent because I was sometime in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And I would go there, visit the neighbor, and I would just look around. I could see sometimes on the wall a picture or a patch. Oh, sir, I remember that. Henrico in Peoria, Illinois. You were with the 9th Infantry Division? And he was like, how do you know that? I'm like, your patch, that's the 9th Division. They were in Normandy. And we're like, and it just opened up because I
Wow.
knew the patch of his unit. So this
Wow.
is some strange stories. I've got like more than 800 like that.